Hello and welcome to my bathroom. Today I'm going to be doing caulking as well as removing the old caulking and getting rid of some mold and mildew. So join me. This is the current situation. It's disgusting. And I'm the one who fixed this the first time, and I used clear, which was a mistake, and then I put white over it, and also a mistake. So we're going to take this out and clean her up. Important to be wearing old clothes because the cleaner has bleach, and so anything you wear probably could get dyed. I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife to separate the caulking from the wall. As you can see, some are going to be more difficult to come off than others. This is going to be very difficult because there's a few layers, so I'm going to get at her. Not a fun job, but definitely needs to be taken out. Sometimes I can get a piece and it'll rip more off, but I want to make sure I have a really clean area to caulk afterwards. I've cleaned it out as best as I can and I vacuumed what was remaining, but you can still see a little bit of black here, so that's why I'm going to use a cleaner now. Okay, so now comes the cleaning part. I wish I had more hydrogen peroxide because this one does not smell and does a really good job of removing mold. I bought this Clorox mold and mildew remover, and it does smell really strong, which for someone like me who's sensitive to smells is not great, but it does work. You can also use bleach or vinegar. And in this case, I'm going to be spraying it everywhere, letting it sit for a good amount of time, at least 10-15 minutes. In this case, I'm probably going to leave it an hour, and I might clean it and do it once more just to make sure I really got rid of everything. And when you apply caulking, you have to make sure everything is extremely dry before starting for obvious reasons. And so I might even do the caulking tomorrow to give it a good chance to dry. Smells so strong. Now we're going to use this brush to really scrub that crack. Try to get everything out. I'm using alcohol to clean it off. I've put it in this tiny spray bottle so I can apply it, and I'm also going to tape off the area before I do the caulking. Since these are pretty much useless, I'm going to take them off. I'm going to unscrew this and then fill those holes also. I have shelves coming. So I removed and cleaned the area, which will help. Now I'm just spraying the alcohol before I apply the tape to make sure it's nice and clean, and I'll wipe it off. By spending some time on the taping, we're going to avoid a lot of cleanup later, which I didn't do last time. Things you need before actually starting the caulking: a glass of water where you can dip your fingers, a wet cloth where you can wipe your fingers off. It gets very messy, as well as paper towel, and of course you need one of these. If you have stopless, that's even great. Ooh, I don't think this is that. We're gonna take the end here, and with our X-Acto knife that's sharp, we're gonna cut down into it at a 45 degree angle. Cut less than you think. Like, the smaller the hole, the better, because it gets out of control quickly. Obviously, if the hole's too small and it's backing up, then you need to cut a bit more, but it's easier to cut more than to cut too much in the beginning. You always kind of want to have it down on something because it could leak out. So yeah, I'm gonna try attempting to cut just a little bit off and see what happens. That's actually a pretty small hole. I'm impressed by that. The other tip was to take a piece of sandpaper, and along that front edge, you're gonna take off a bit of the excess so that it'll go smoothly onto the tile. Okay, that kind of helped to take off the raw edges. And now I'm going to use the little poker on this tool to poke in through the hole so that the caulking will come out. Okay, I'm going to give it a squeeze to make sure it's coming out. Now there we go. Okay, make more of a mess, will you? Okay, I'm gonna have a cloth obviously ready for the excess that's gonna clearly keep coming out. That's why you want a stopless one, I guess. I've done it. It's not great, as usual, but I'm gonna dip my finger into the water now and then lightly smooth it out. This is where the tape is obviously very important, because in the past that looked like poo. Okay, not as bad. Looking much better. And now, while it's still wet basically, you gotta take the tape off. Just over here. I mean, looks good. I went over it with my finger one last time, but I think I'm gonna do the corner again once it's dry, because I can see this area could use a little bit more, and I might even go up in that area slightly. And these look great. There's gonna be a shelf over there anyway, so overall, I think it ended up being very successful. And these are the shelves, which helped hide where the previous holes were, and functional. Caulking is really not my favorite job. I hate it, but at the same time, I think when it's necessary and you can do it yourself, it's a great thing to do.
What?